Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to work on my goddess again and confidence, which is my word of the year. I've done a couple of things since the last video, as you might notice, but probably don't because the last video wasn't yesterday and nobody pays that much attention. But I did write out the word confidence. I struggled whether it would be confident or confidence, and I liked confidence. And what I did was I remembered that I've had these fabric markers probably for at least a couple of years, if not 3 or 4, and never used them. So I got brave. Whoopsies. I got brave and opened up the set. I'm really not sure where I got these. They're Tulip brand, probably Joann's or Michael's, I would think, maybe. And I used the purple. So it's a nice array of colors. I really like it. I mean, yeah. So that's the first time I've used them. They did not snag. It says they won't snag, skip or bleed, and even though I was writing on fabric that I'd painted on, really didn't do any of those things. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch over it. I might. I have a little piece of batting on the back. And if I do stitch over it, I think I would probably do it on here. Now, whether I'm going to keep the batting on there or not, I don't know. I could just put it right there without the batting on the back. I can't go too high because this is where my little dowel rod will go through to hang it up. And I can't, stitch into that hole or I won't be able to hang it up that way, which I also stitched off camera. I just folded it over once and stitched across. So I guess I could have not folded it that far. Well, that's something I can play with. You know, things are always changing here. Trust me. Now, if you remember, I had the feathers on here, and I decided to take those off. I thought they were kind of stealing the show. Of course, I can't find them now. Where are you, feathers? You were in here this morning. Welcome, by the way, and thank you for being here. I forgot to say that, and I do hope this finds you well. Okay, I have no idea what I did with the feathers. Nothing new there. Yeah, so anyway, the real feathers were here. Seriously, I don't know what I did with them. They were here this morning. I felt like they were stealing the show, and I didn't want them to do that. I want the goddess to be stealing the show. So, that being said, I did have this piece down here. I did not have this piece or this lace behind here. I like the lace. I feel like the white gives this contrast. The lace is sort of shiny and gives it some contrast. I'm going to not poke my finger is what I'm going to not do. So I feel like the lace is very subtle, but it gives it a little shine and it breaks up some of the color. The purple very much blends into the purple background, I feel, even though it's bolder. And then I tore this piece off from some of the other fabric that I had painted via the gel plate. And I have another piece that I'm now missing because I've been moving stuff around. Anyway, I really like this design, which came from an embossed placemat. Now, where's that other piece? Holy cow, I am just losing things left and right. Okay, I'll find it. I'll probably have to stop the camera and do that. But anywho's, so I really like this design. It's sort of almost like a mandala kind of thing. And I was going to put it over here on the side, again, to help sort of break up the colors, although it does blendy blend in there. Then I stuck it behind here because I wanted to test something. And I was thinking, that's pretty too. Or I could cut it in half and move it out this way a little more so you see more of this design. On the other hand, I'll never be able to print this again in this way, in this colorway. So I'm like, do I really want to do that? Do I want to cut this and then not like it and now it's cut in half and I can't use it as a whole piece anywhere else? Oh, the struggle is real. When you create something and you can't recreate it very easily, yeah, the struggle is definitely real. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so confused. And I've been sitting here playing with it for a while. Trust me. Now I could use half of it down here instead of this greenish thing. I could do that and still have it on there and have her sit over the top of it maybe. Well, that's pretty too. Of course, that wouldn't be showing. I could do that too. Oy. It's still half of it. So if I cut it in half, I could try the other way and I could do that if I decided that's what I wanted to do. I don't think putting it totally under there is 100% what I want, but that's always a possibility as well. Some days the decisions are way harder than others. When I was working on the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, that cover, not cover, but that pouch came together pretty much like that. I know it doesn't look like it in the video, but really I felt like it did. This one I'm struggling with. I've been thinking of things off and on the entire morning. So, all right, well, what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this in half. Kiss for good luck. Rip. Okay, so it's either going to go here, which I already kind of like, and here. I just remembered what I did with the piece of lace I'm looking for, so I do like that a lot. I think it's going to go there. I'm going to put you on hold for just a moment and I shall return. Okay, sorry about that. I had sheets in the dryer and the dryer was beeping, so I had to go get that. And I remembered what I did with my lace. It was behind me on a table with an ironing mat with the iron on for me to iron. And then I went and did other things. Yeah, you know. So that's where my lace was. So I ironed it out because it was very curly Q. Yes, I like this immensely. I'll be honest. Now I have considered painting the white with opalescent paint like this shiny stuff back here. Not 100% sure yet, so I'm not doing anything with that. But I am going to put that, I think I'm going to put it there. And then I'm going to try a technique down here, but I'm not sure if that's going to work yet. So, I don't know if I said this. I do hope this finds everybody well. I think I did say that, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't say it again. And I don't know what else I'm going to do on here. I know I want to put other words to show what the confidence part means to me. I could put it right over what's supposed to be your hands. But I could also unpick this and not fold it over quite that far, because my dowel, the dowel wood rod that I'm going to put through there is pretty thin. I probably don't need all that. I feel like I just don't have quite enough fabric this way, and the bottom of this is muslin showing. So I'm going to have to fold that up. And it's going to be like that. And so, I don't know. However, I really like this. I'm glad that I cut it in half after all. So I'm trying to keep the straight edges under her body. Yes, except for this is not going to be upside down. Yeah, I'll probably unpick that and resew it later. I'm gonna stick with that thought. Alrighty. So for me, this is working. What I'm going to do around her, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch. I'm not sure if I'm going to find something else to put on the background. I've been auditioning fabric, but I'm really not 100% sold. This is, I think, I had to have gotten this in a die pack. You know, I just don't feel like flowers belong on here, on this one in particular. I'm not sure why. Flowers are just not calling to me for this. I have some white lace. I don't know if white lace should go behind here to sort of highlight it. No. And I want to do some sort of design down here. I'm just not sure what shape that is. I'm really not sure about this at all. Why I turned the camera on right now, I have no clue, to be totally honest with you. I am struggling a little bit. Total honesty here. I am struggling with this one just a tad bit more than I'd like to be. So, I don't know. Interesting, huh? I'm very excited about getting it done. However, let's see, do I want those over that lace? Little tiny decisions at a time, right? If you can't make a big decision, make the little ones. Okay, I think I'm going to sew her down, because anything I do on this outer bit is just going to be extra anyway. So I think I'm going to, do I want this? I think I want those frayed ends at the bottom. And do I want this on top? No, I like that on top, to be honest. And there will be beading going on, some sort of stitching. I don't know what though. I haven't done any background stitching on it at all. I don't have anything, but I don't have anything behind it at all either. I don't know if I'm going to put a piece of batting back there, maybe, because the stitches that I've done so far have sort of warped the fabric a little. All good questions, right? Well, let me make some decisions, figure a couple things out. I'll be right back. Okay, well, decisions have been made, sort of. I tore out the thread that was holding this and shortened it up so more of the color was at the top. So this can fit nicely up there, confidently up there. She is in the right place, I believe. I tore the spare fabric off of the bottom because there wasn't anything I could do with that blank muslin. So I have this on here, the lace, and it's sort of, I'm okay that it's not laying flat because it gives it texture. And I am definitely going to have these on here and stitch those down. I'm definitely going to have this on here and stitch this down and the heart. And then this is my only question, whether to make it shiny or not with paint. I feel like it sort of is really bright and I'm not sure. So I'm not going to work on the head yet, just because I don't know what I'm doing with that. However, I could work from here down, and I think I'm going to do that. Now, my next dilemma is, here are the threads that I'm trying to decide to use. This one has purple and blue in it. Not teal or turquoise or greenish like this, but it does have purple and blue. But I don't know if that's too dark and blendy, and the purple doesn't show up as purple, it shows up as blue when you put it against this purple, almost blue. This one is more matchy-matchy to down here with the green and turquoise or teal. I really like that, and it would show okay up here, but it would be really blendy down here at the bottom. Oh, decisions. You would have thought I would have made these before I got on camera. Then there's this one that has more of a lilac and a darker purple. Matches here way better, but is it too blendy? Will I see it? I want to see it, but I don't want it to be in your face. See it? And then there's this one that has sort of a purple magenta look to it, and that probably matches that upper part the best and would probably show up down here the best. So I don't know. And then of course I have regular old 6-strand thread that I could go with. I could go with the light lilac. I could go with the, this is not really that same purple, so I'm not sure I would use that. Now this would definitely show up against both of them, and I could use 3 strands of it, but I kind of feel like this would do the same, and I like the size of this. It's a size 8. So I think I'm going to, I have more trouble with 6-strand, so I think I'm going to go with that one, I think. All right, that decision is made. Sort of, kind of. I don't think I have anything else over here. And of course that's variegated, so I always want variegated over non-variegated. Let me check one thing here. No, not really anything in there. I know this is a wishy-washy video, and I apologize. You know, there's just nothing you can do about some things. Oops, shaky. All right, let's see. What are we gonna do? I wonder, should I stitch these down first, actually? Probably. Of course. Oh, all right. We'll get on with it here. You know, life is so complicated some days. We ran out this morning. We have a beautiful, that needle is not going to work. I'm not going to get a size 8 through that eye. Went out this morning, hemmed and hawed about going out. Finally went out. I don't know if you can hear. The birds are singing. The sun is mostly out. It's partly sunny, partly cloudy. And as I'm filming this, today is, no idea what today is. I have no idea where my iPad is either. Interesting. Oh, it's right in front of me. Duh. It's January 8th. You won't see this until the following, well, you won't see this for a few days after this date. However, January 9th, here on the East Coast, we're supposed to get a slamming storm. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Oh, man. I hate when thread does that. Just knots in the wrong place. Makes life difficult. You're wasting thread. Yeah. Interesting, huh? I think I'd better pin the bottom of this down because these are shifting and I really do not want that to shift. I want all of that to stay right there. Please stay right there. I'm going to pin this side. And I shall pin. I'm finding those little pins are nice, but they're a bit too little for me. And I'm running into trouble with them. I need to get a longer pin. Longer, thin applique pin. I want the little thin ones with the ball heads on them. I can't find them in the stores around here. And though I think I found them once, but they were really highly expensive. I was shocked that it was that expensive. So, where to start? Don't know why I'm having such a hard time. I'm going to go for the heart. Look at that. I am. And can you see? I'm going to put you down where I can see. Ooh. I can see if you can see what I can see. Oh, what a mess this video is. I apologize. Some days are just like that, you know? Some days are just like that. I'm going to blame the impending horrible weather. It is supposed to rain to beat the band. It is supposed to be windy. Not looking forward to it. Although there are others who are going to get it a lot worse than we are. So I shouldn't complain, but we're getting a warning, a weather warning, that we could have potentially up to 4 inches of rain tomorrow. I don't think we've ever, since we've lived here, I don't think we've ever had 4 inches of rain. I'm going to find our rain gauge and tell Tony I want him to put it out today on the deck. That's a mission I'm going to give my husband because he needs a mission. We already checked to see if the induction cooktop is in the house, and we have a battery pack, a Jackery battery pack. It's a lithium battery that you charge up by either plugging it in when you can plug it in, or by solar. And I said, if the power goes out, I need to eat tomorrow. I gotta eat. So, yeah, I think I have you too close. I think you're probably going to go blind. I'm going to move you out, so close your eyes. Okay, open your eyes. So, yeah. So he checked for the induction cooktop, and he checked the Jackery. It is at 100% still from the last time we charged it. And ow, darn. If the power goes out, we can still heat something up for food. We are not looking forward to it. And trust me, the people at the barn, there are 2 women who care. One owns it. The other one has been with her for a very long time. And they care for the horses. And there are probably somewhere between 13 and 15 horses out there, I think. It may be lower, maybe between 10 and 15, I'll say, because I'm really not sure. Our horse is one of them, and it's going to be a huge mess. They do not put them in the barn and in the stall when it's bad weather, but they do bring them in, feed them, and let them back out. And some of the horses, they do that 3 times a day. Well, those horses they usually keep in. They don't usually let them back out after after breakfast. They keep them in for a few hours, and then they usually feed them their lunch and let them back out. But our horse comes in and eats a little bit of food. He's what you call an easy keeper. He's like his mama, me. Stays fat just on food, on air. So yeah. Anywho's, so these women have to take care of those horses, and I don't know if you know anything about being in the country as opposed to being in a city. Ow, pins. But when you're on a horse farm, it can get very, very muddy because everything is either grass or worn down grass. I'm trying to keep these somewhat across from each other. Like I want this one to be across from that one, so I think it needs to come down. Yeah. And yeah, I feel for them. They're worried about it too. 4 inches of rain is a lot. 2 inches of rain is a lot. But if it gets any higher than that, and we're in a heavy rain area, according to the maps. Of course, the maps aren't everything. But they do have their share of knowledge, and yeah. I don't think it's supposed to be bad until the afternoon. And then, goodness gracious, is that one up here? I'm trying to put an equal number of knots in here, but you know, I wasn't very careful when I started, so. Placement. I don't want it over there. I want it more to the outside. Over here. And this may not end up being a very ornate project, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay if it's not real ornate. This is for me, and it's something that I probably could add to. Uh-oh. I don't like it when I mess up a knot. Almost said something else. Now, I don't think that's an even number, but I feel like it needs this one to make it look cohesive. There we go. Yeah, this might be something that I add to over time. I don't know. I'm not in a rush to finish it. And if things are not falling into place easily for me, which when I started it, I felt like they were. And now I feel like not so much. So I'm working on it. And it may be a work in progress, who knows, for the entire year. Heck, I'm a work in progress for the entire year, so who knows? Boy, that sun is on the back of my neck again. It's making me warm. Phew-wee. All right, look, I got stitches down. Yay, Martha. You go, girl. All right. Now that I've started, I think I'm feeling better about all of it. Well, you can't move it now, friend. You just sewed down the heart. All right, I'm going to sew down the top of this. So I want to thank everybody for their lovely comments. I've been getting some really nice comments lately. I appreciate it. And if you think that you want to, like I said in my last video, do something that represents your year, that you know, things you hope to accomplish this year. It could be a vision board that you're stitching. I've thought about that too, but there's things on my vision board I'm not sure I'd share with anybody. So there is that. Well, I feel like I'm wasting this variegated thread because it's sort of blending right into this at the top, but that's okay. Use it up, I just have to buy more. Oh, speaking of buying more, I did sign up for the Artistic Artifacts Summit. And I'm going to do the die day again. I did it. I signed up this morning. They are closed this week because they're doing like an inventory and they have a new sales system that they're trying to implement, and they have a new website. So all of that, their website is up, and it's so different from the other one. Very easy to navigate. So if you're interested, if you're anywhere in the Virginia area, Maryland, DC, or you want to travel in, there are hotels. It's in downtown Alexandria, Virginia. There's hotels really close by. You could walk to the venue, and the summit is actually a 3-day event. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And if you look it up on their website, artisticartifacts.com. Now, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just really like their store. I like the people in the store. And I like their products, although they are a little pricey, but I can't get everything cheap. So frugal as I like to be. But yeah, they're going to have other classes as well. A lot of like mixed media or quilting. I'm a little disappointed in some of the other classes that are there. But anyway, I wouldn't have taken more than one class anyway, which is the dye class again. But I know what to expect, and I'm going to pre-stitch a bunch of my fabric. And I'm going to talk to Judy and see if I can just start dyeing fabric once I'm there. She'll probably say no. I have to wait for the rest of the class. There are a couple things that I suggested on the forum last year, like she had way too many people for the amount of dye vats and jars and stuff like that that she had. In my opinion, I thought it was way too many people, and it was hard to get your stuff in and not get it mixed up with other people. And she says right on her forms, and she tells you when she starts, that if your thing gets lost and someone else ends up with it, then don't come boo-hooing to me. Just deal with it. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can ensure that the stuff that I pay for, the fabric and stuff that I get, that I pay for as part of the class, and my own fabric, you can take as much of your own stuff as you want, doesn't get taken by someone else. So I am definitely going to have to figure out a way to mark my fabric that doesn't come off in a boiling vat of indigo dye. And last year I thought, well, I'll mark it with threads. That didn't work because the threads get dyed and then you really can't pick it apart. I thought about bringing my own rack to hang the stuff on and just putting my name on it and saying Martha Managross only. She also says that if you use, like, there are Tyvek envelopes, if you attach a Tyvek tag with your name on it. So I'm going to work on that. I mean, I have 4 months. It's not until April 19th, so I have lots of time to work on that. But those are some of the things I'm going to do to ensure that my own fabric, because I bought a lot of fabric to dye last year, And when I saw what a mess it was and how people were just grabbing things out of vat, dumping them in the vat of dye, and then taking them out, and they were taking other people's stuff out with it, oh, I got very frustrated. I got overwhelmed. But see, this year I know what to expect. So I'll be okay this year. I just have to plan better and like stitch Tyvek to the ends, like to a corner of fabric here. And, you know, the Tyvek won't melt. It won't dye. It'll resist the dye. And all my stuff will just have my tags on it. And it'll be very noticeable if somebody else picks it up and does something with it. But I could also take my own drying rack. Did I tell you I put fusible fleece on the back of this? And I did that because I wanted her to stand out a little bit, because she was sort of melting into the fabric. And yeah, it was, I highly, highly advise to take your pattern, put it on the paper side of your fusible fleece, and then do it, because yeah, it was tough, and there's still some white stuff showing from the fusible fleece, but I like how she sits up off the fabric a little, and how these blend in more. And I'm thinking of taking white opalescent thread and stitching that. I'm grabbing it, sorry. I have opalescent and I have sparkly. So this is white sparkly thread and this is opalescent. I'm thinking of taking this. That's not gonna, what I want to do is sort of mute this a little bit. It might have to be this white. This is a, where's the name? Sewology. And I think it's a Hobby Lobby thread. This one is, I have no idea where I got this one. There's no name on it. It just says silver metallic. So I don't know what to tell you about that. Anywho's, yeah, I'm thinking of doing that to sort of, I know they're pretty muted, but I'm thinking of, I just want them to be faint. And the feathers don't represent an angel for me. The feathers are representing flying with confidence, flying free. Yeah, so that's kind of where that comes in. Why is this not laying flat? I don't want to stitch on that unless it's laying flat. When I pin it, it does not want to. See, that's why I don't like the big pins. Little pins don't do that. At least I haven't had them do that yet. You don't pucker the fabric when you're pinning it. So if you're interested at all, in fact, I can pull it up here. Hold that thought. So this is the website. And trying to get the glare off of it. And if you go to workshops and events or creative retreats, I went to workshops and events, and this is the first of the listings, like April 19th, it's called Creative Minds Summit. They have Rags to Riches with Libby Williamson, Experimental Needle Felting with Liz Kettle. I already know how to needle felt. Creative Minds, some of the Art Journal Explorations with Gwen LaFleur. Dye Explorations with Judy Gula. That's the one I'm going to take. Dwell Here with Liz Kettle. And I believe that's making a journal or has something to do with journal making. Art Show in a Box with Glenn LaFleur. What is that? It's Eraser. Wonky Sisters with Libby Williamson. This is commercially printed fabric scraps and miscellaneous solids that have sat idle in your closet will be transformed into a luscious stash of collage material. Add your own unique patterns and paint marks with layers of color. Now that might be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. And then there's Birds Gone Wild Fabric Collage with Judy Gula and Liz Kettle, and Creative Mind Summit Paper Tapestry with Libby Williamson. So there you go. Those are what they're offering over the 3-day period. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and last year I got an email way closer to the time, and they asked what we wanted from Panera, what meal we would want. I don't know if they're doing Panera again this year. I think Panera was a tad bit overwhelmed, to be honest, because there are like 4 or 5 things going on each day, classes. The dye class is an all-day class. It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, last year we did end a tad bit early than 5 p.m. I was ready to go at 3:30, but I was wiped out. So I still don't know what I want to do with that, but I bet if I wanted to paint it, I think I could just paint with what's on there. Now, part of me wants to do decorative, that's all folks, decorative stitching on this part up here because it's very plain, or put lace up there or something. I don't know what yet. I just don't know what yet. Yeah. And then I want to do some sort of pattern on here. But again, I don't know what yet. I think I want to do a concentric circle, but I'm not sure. The other thing I could do is stuff coming out from there. I hope I stitched that down the right side up. I wasn't even paying attention. You know, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do something that comes out like that. But I'm not there yet. So, I don't know. Let's start on her. Now, what stitch am I going to do here? No clue. I have not decided yet. Whatever it is, it's going to start there. Do I want to do knots all the way around? No. Do I want to do the fly stitch? I could. You know, because I want to fly this year. I want to be able to fly with my ideas. I want to be able to fly with my thoughts. I want to fly and be free from worry and stress and all kinds of things. So I am not connecting these fly stitches. You can, but I am not. These are going to be just individual stitches. Whoa, sorry. Didn't mean to send you flying. Ha! More flying. Oh, you're crooked. Why is my phone not staying where it's supposed to? That's why. Tighten the knob. It's amazing. So this morning we went to the library where my husband likes to buy books. He used to not read at all. And I was an avid reader. I am not such an avid reader anymore. And he has become a very avid reader. And course, he's retired, so he's got all the time in the world. And he's been doing adult paint by number kits. They've come out really pretty. It's funny because I am such a perfectionist. You wouldn't know it because I don't do anything that well. But, like, I have to be happy with my work. And he did a really nice job on all of the paintings. But when I look closely, I see little flaws. But I do not say a word. I tell him how beautiful it is, what a good job he did. Because the man doesn't have hobbies. His hobbies used to be golf, tennis, not tennis so much, racquetball, basketball for sure. He played football as a teenager, but then when you're in the Army, football's not a great idea. So he played, unless you're on the Army Navy or Army team for football, but he was not, thank goodness. Let's see, what else did he do? Racquetball, basketball. He loved basketball. Years and years and years of playing basketball. And he used to run because the Army had weight standards that he had to meet. And because of his eating habits, he was a naturally heavier guy. And you wouldn't know it now. And so he used to run, and he used to have to run for the Army. They had to do physical tests. And running was one of them. Had to do so many sit-ups in a certain amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Had to run a mile in a certain amount of time. Yeah. Standards. So. But physically, he can't do any of those things anymore. So he has taken up reading and now the painting. He was never into woodworking. His father was a self-employed, self-made carpenter. And he used to have to go to work with him. He got all the crappy jobs, like climbing in the attic. And I certainly hope you've pulled up a project to stitch along, because I know this is boring. He used to have to climb up in the attics and pull all the insulation out, and he'd give him the really crummy jobs. His dad was not the best guy in the whole world, not the best father in the whole world. But anyway, it built character in Tony, so he's a good guy. But yeah, so physically, and then he became a drill instructor in the Army, and he was a drill instructor for 3 years, and it's usually only 2 years. So physically, between road marches and all kinds of stuff, physical stuff, his body has been brutalized. And so he's got a lot of physical stuff going on that's not easy on him. But he keeps on trucking. He takes a long walk every day. And I give him credit. I can't take some days I can walk with him. Some days I cannot, between my feet and my knees. Yeah, we won't even go into that mess. But anyway, it's hard for me. So if we go out and run around in the stores and stuff, by the time we get home, that's it, I'm done. I can't really do much more than that. Oh, I probably came up too close there, but that's okay. Come on, Martha. Thank you. Oh, that's way bigger than I wanted. I got progressively bigger and bigger. Which is kind of what I do when I'm doing this stitch. Consistency. That should have been my word for the year. Be more consistent. But anyway, so we went to the library, and they have a bookstore where people donate books to them, and he gets hardcovers for like $1. So he goes in, buys them, reads them, and then after several months of doing that, he gets like 3 or 4 at a time. And after several months of doing that, he returns the books so they can resell them. And he's helping out the local library, because he keeps telling me he can't read a book that he gets on loan from the library. He can't read it in 2 weeks. Well, most of the books that the library lends, he's already read anyway. And if they're not brand new releases, you can extend the time that you're loaning it out for anyway. I have to remind him of that every so often. So I got a new book from the library. I asked them to order it, and I read it in 2 days. We had one day where it was really, really nasty outside and rainy and cold, and I sat and read half the book that day. And then I read the other half the day before, so yeah. And it was a hardcover, not large print either. And then we went over to Joann's. No, we had to go to Walmart, and we buy bags of black oil sunflower seeds to feed the birds. They only had a little one available, a small bag. So, well, I guess it was more of a medium bag, but anyway, not as large as we usually get. And then even that's gone up in price. I mean, everything's getting so expensive nowadays. People food, dog food. It's crazy. And he wanted some non-dairy creamer for his coffee. I don't know how he drinks that stuff. It's full of crap. But anyway, crappy stuff. Anyhow, so he got that. We got that and left there. And then went to Joann's. I had a couple of 50% off anything regular price coupons. But the Joann's in that town is very tiny. Very, very, all the stores are very tiny. They're miniaturized in this town because the population isn't very large. So they built a tiny Joann's, a tiny Michael's. Everything is smaller there. Compared to some Walmarts we've been in, a very tiny Walmart. It's kind of funny. When we moved down there, I'm like, where the heck is the rest of the store? So you can't always find as much as you want to. There's a really large Michael's in another city that's north of us, and we went in it when I had an appointment last week, and we stopped in there. See, now I didn't want that showing, but it sort of snuck out on me. We went in the Michael's, and I was like, wow. It's like a kid walking into a toy store. Wow, because it was so big compared to the Michael's around here. So, yeah. But anyway, we went into Michael's. No, we didn't go into Michael's. We went into Joann's. Couldn't find anything I wanted. No fabric, no beads. You know, I've got enough stuff when I go in a store and I can't find extra. I mean, how sad is that? Oops. Well, I sort of blew that, didn't I? I was busy yammering. Forgot to come back up through the other part. So we made those rounds, and then he decided he was hungry. So we went to Panera, and I got the Baja Bowl and had them remove the feta cheese, the yogurt, because I'm one of those plant people. I don't eat any meat or eggs or dairy. I'm not vegetarian. I'm flat out vegan. Vegan, plant-based. Unfortunately, I still eat too much processed food, which I'm cutting way back on this year. So, oops. Come on now. Behave. None of that. And that was good. They have warm bowls. I got one of those, and he got the Mediterranean bowl. Well, I like that. Now all I have to do is decide what's going on in here. Well, and stitch the rest of her. But anyhow, I'm going to let you go on this one. I just wanted to catch up and let you know where this was at in the moment. And I will be seeing you in the next one. I don't know if it'll be the winter project or the Roxy Creations project, but there's also, I'm going to be making book covers. I think I mentioned that in one of my previous videos for my day planners. And I have 2 planners, and I'm going to be making book covers for those. So I will share that with you. I used to make book covers out of fabric, and I think I remember how I did it. So I'm going to put it together, and I'll just be slow stitching the front cover somehow. I don't know. I think I'm going to put it, probably it's going to look similar to the pouch, something along that line. Just collage some fabrics and then make the stitch on it and stuff and make it pretty. And then I will be putting the book cover together. And if you're interested in seeing how I put it together, it's not complicated, but if you're interested in it, let me know. And I will do one, and then I will see if you're interested in me just showing how to put the second one together. Alrighty, thanks for joining me today. I know I was all over the place. This project has me all over the place because I don't want to make it too ornate and complicated, but I want it to be what I want for this year. So, thanks everybody. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye.